Hi, Mike Maat here, congressional candidate in the recent special election in Florida's District 20, with the first of two videos of lessons that I learned during that campaign that I want to share with you, my fellow libertarians. This first video will talk about 9 things I learned about teamwork and process. The second video will talk about messaging. Number 1, don't run for office unless a lot of other people think this is a good idea too. For a local nonpartisan race, this means probably at least a dozen people who think this is such a good idea that they spontaneously volunteer to do some work for you. For a congressional race, this probably means a couple of dozen people. Personally, I was very lucky in this regard. Number 2, volunteers need to be inspired frequently. Meetings, rallies, events, group tasks help keep the team together and motivated. And find a good team communication platform that everyone can buy into using. Number 3, figure out what it is you're good at doing yourself and be ready to pay for the rest. Don't try to do too much on your own, you just won't have time. Number 4, don't rely on volunteers to perform tasks that are critical on a daily basis or even weekly. Volunteers are humans. Humans tend to have things like lives, jobs, families. Figure out those events that are those at which the number of bodies is what matters. That's what volunteers are best suited for. In local races, social media is a great way to target some of the very specific groups you'll need for success. But social media works best when keeping up relationships that you've built in person. So do your legwork first. Don't fall into the trap of thinking social media can provide a lazy way out. Number 6, door-to-door campaigning is a great way to make a meaningful impact on a relatively small number of people. It's perfect for local races in which affecting a few hundred people can make all the difference in the world. Number 7, direct mail has become so expensive that it's only really worthwhile in the most targeted of groups. This makes it perfect for a local race, not so much for an entire congressional district. And by the way, remember that as in-person voting becomes less and less important, target those individuals with a history of voting by mail. Number 8, email spam is legal, but to be effective, you'll have to find ways to prompt your constituents to open up your messages. Don't forget to warm up your email addresses in advance to avoid being filtered out by anti-spam robots. And consider having those with local credibility and histories of having your constituents open their messages send emails on your behalf. And number 9, interact with as many voters as possible, as often as possible. You'll probably find that many of the things that you suspected are true are true. And you may find that a number of things that you didn't know were true are also true.